Hello, everybody, and welcome to Row 60, a Georgia football podcast. My name is Clark Gaines. Joining me today, as always, Adam Thornton.
Boom! Woo!
And this is show number 76, another episode here in April. The spring is just ticking on. Adam, we're getting a little bit closer to football season.
Clark, we don't want to waste our lives away. We talk about it, man. But this time of year, we're just here, just sucking in pollen. And just enjoying spring festivities, right? Spring football's behind us, so you kind of get through that step. You've gotten through kind of wrapping up, putting a bow on last season, and then winter workouts, and then spring football. So you see what you got, new transfers coming in, transfers going out, coming in, all that good stuff, man. And then, hey, we've already had G-Day, what we're going to talk about here. So now you're going into the summer, man. You got some camps, some camps coming up, man, and then summer workouts. Then before you know it, it'll be the beginning of August, Clark. They'll be putting on pads, and it'll be here. It'll be here. It'll be time and getting ready for Clemson, baby.
Yeah. Golly. Man. I can't wait to open up against Clemson. Obviously, the first show we did on this podcast was about the Clemson game.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
It's exciting to do that again. We hate Clemson. Y'all know that by now. And if you don't know it, then you're going to get
You're going to learn it.
Yeah, you're going to learn
it. Because we're going to dedicate a lot of time for our Clemson hate.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who listen to this podcast, that's something that we've talked about, Clark. There's not enough Georgia fans that hate Clemson.
I agree. Are we spearheading the Clemson hatred going into 2024 season?
Yes, we have to, man, because I've heard too many people over the past few years, especially when they played in their national championships against Alabama. Terrible time as a Georgia fan, because that was right before, the run with Kirby, before we got our two and everything. And seeing them in the spotlight, it was awful. It was awful. And people were cheering for Clemson. Openly cheering for Clemson over Alabama. I mean, I dislike both of them, hate both of them. But Clemson is an old rival. Like, older Georgia fans realize that Clemson's a huge rival, Clark. And because Georgia used to open up with them every single year, rotate between Athens and Clemson. And, that's one thing I feel like our generation of Georgia fans who are not in Northeast Georgia on the South Carolina line, like where me and you reside, Clark, are not big advocates of Clemson hate. And I don't like that, Clark. I don't like that. We need to get that pumped up, man. So tell me, I tell you what, Clark, if you're listening to this on the YouTube, or if you have a social media outlet, if you got a Twitter, if you got a Facebook, if you got a TikTok, right?
And Instagram.
Or what? Yeah, Instagram or whatever, platform that you have Row 60 on. And Clark, if you post the deal on this episode, like the preview, tell us why you hate Clemson.
Yeah, we need to save it.
Content. Oh yeah, we do need to save it. Not yet. But be thinking of this. We're gonna have I tell you what, Clark. Let's make it a contest.
Okay.
Let's make it a contest. Where we will talk about a date when the deadline will be, and we will open it up and we will advertise it as a "Why do you hate Clemson?"
Or I hate Clemson more than.
Yeah, I hate Clemson because blank. And, whatever's the best reason that we love that gets us fired up, Clark, we'll send a little prize package out that way.
Okay.
How about that? We're going to send a little prize package.
What does this prize package include?
I don't know, but we'll think of it. It'll be good. It'll be good. So that'll get everybody in the spirit. But you're right.
This.
We a little premature to get just amped up completely about this. But leading up to the Labor Day weekend matchup with Clemson at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, we will open up that contest.
I like that, actually. That's going to be that's a good idea.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh man, yeah, we're sitting here. It's 9:53. A Tuesday night, April 23rd. And Adam, I think the reason we're starting this episode with Clemson hate is because we're sitting here watching a little Georgia baseball and the Diamond
big
Dogs.
Game.
Yeah,
big
really
game.
big. Yeah, big game. The Diamond Dogs are sitting here. It's 3-2 right now.
Yeah.
Top of the 8th. Clemson's batting.
Getting into the late innings, man.
Yeah. Anyway, all that to say, we hate Clemson and we can't wait for this football season and to beat Clemson. Adam,
nothing better.
This whole episode, I promise, guys, will not be about Clemson and how much we hate them. But I do want to say this, and I want to set this in stone here tonight.
Clark, get the tone started
in April, okay?
Set the tone early, and I love that. Set the tone early. Let's go.
Adam, I think we're going to steamroll Clemson. I mean, I feel that now.
Like a 2014 type steamroll.
Yes.
Like a 45-24.
Yes.
Oh, give me all of that. Inject that straight into that vein right there, baby.
Do we get a little?
there.
Do we get a little
Right there.
Anthony Evans kick return for 100 yards
Oh man, what
coming out of the half, like Gurley did? in 14?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
God,
man.
that was just a phenomenal night, man. Nick Chubb's coming out party, man. Just a great time. Hot that night in Athens.
yeah,
Very hot, man. So, yeah, I would love just a another recreation of that night, Clark. But yeah, I think, man, I think 17 to 21 point victory. I'd love it. Couldn't you just imagine Dabo squirming on the sideline? Oh man, we're getting a little bit too caught up.
Anyway.
We don't even have this in the episode notes.
No, this is not even anywhere in the show notes, which is just great.
That's
but
all right.
That's part of row 60. We get off the rails a little bit, and you just gotta learn to accept
with
it.
us.
Yeah,
That's right. We've been doing it for 75 episodes now, right?
This is number 76, Adam. So yeah,
Correct.
75 up to this point.
That's right.
So yeah, everybody, welcome to episode number 76. On this episode, we're gonna talk about G-Day, kind of recap that. I'll be honest, Adam.
Yeah.
Didn't really watch much of it. Didn't watch the highlights really that much. I did go back and watch some YouTube stuff, but I really don't have a lot to say. But we are going to kind of go through the first team offense, first team defense, who was out there, who was playing. We've got some changes in NCAA football. I still like calling it NCAA football.
Yeah, NCAA
though I don't like the
football.
organization.
Collegiate
much.
football.
Collegiate football.
We
Right.
do. I mean, it's like the world, man. I mean, I'll just be honest with you, Clark. I'll just be honest with you. I have a hard time with change in anything in life.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I wish it was still 1997.
Yeah.
The world in like 90. I was 4 years old.
Well, hold
at the
up.
time.
What, do you want Georgia football
No.
1997? Okay. Just to clarify.
I mean, it was a decent team that year. It was probably Jim Donovan's best team was in 97.
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about like the world.
Sure.
And I'm just an old school guy.
You are.
in a 30-year-old body.
Yeah,
So
you're an old soul.
that's kind of like, so when I just see a lot of stuff change, no matter what it is in life, I just push back on it a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't do anything about it, so you just got to accept it and move on. So that's what I'm
Right.
doing with college football, man. So I mean, what's another whatever heck else they're going to do to our beloved sport? I mean, a wise man once told me, if it's not broke, don't fix it. If it's not broke, don't fix it, Clark.
Yeah. Well, there's been a lot of unnecessary fixing being done in the past couple of years.
That's right.
Well, yeah. Anyway, there's been some changes. We're going to talk about those changes in college football. One transfer, y'all already probably know who we're talking about. We're going to talk about later in the show.
We're going to talk about the portal. The portal giveth and the portal taketh, Clark.
It sure does. And really, I'll be honest.
And one we don't have on the episode notes, remind me when we get down to the portal section of our program.
Okay.
Is about the portal possibly giveth.
Oh, okay.
Is the portal potentially giveth.
Portal giveth? Question mark? That's what I have in my show notes.
In the quarterback room.
Oh, really?
In the quarterback room, too.
Oh.
Yes. In the QB room, Clark.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Arch Manning? No, I'm
That's
kidding.
right. That's right.
And then
speaking, man.
No, let's just let's
Texas,
hold on.
had some Texas hate too going on too. Their spring game.
Any team with the color orange in their color scheme just deserves hatred.
What a schedule this year! I'm fired up.
Yep. And last but certainly not least, we're going to talk about the NFL draft.
10:00 on a Tuesday night. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
NFL
which
draft
is in 2 days from now. So
it's in Detroit too. I mean, why aren't we putting anything in Detroit?
I don't know.
Like, why aren't we putting any national like any national festivity that we could choose where the location of this festivity is being
Hosted?
Hosted, and we choose Detroit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for anybody who's listening from Detroit, but Detroit,
Yeah.
the Motor City.
Yeah, I was trying to remember what the name was.
I mean, wild. When I heard that the other day, actually, when I heard that it was in Detroit about 10 minutes ago, and I saw it on the advertisement here when we were watching this baseball game, Clark, I thought, why in the world? Why Detroit,
Yeah.
man?
Well, last year was in Vegas, and that makes sense. I mean, everybody wants to go to
Yeah, I
Vegas.
mean, that's a fun time, man. You get everybody out there, Vegas and whatnot. If you go hosting somewhere like Phoenix, whatever, I don't care. Phoenix, I nothing against Phoenix. I mean,
You're kind of neutral against.
Yeah, I mean, really, no feelings either way towards Phoenix. But, it used to be a Radio City Music Hall in New York every single year. And the draft started on a Saturday morning or at noon. I mean, again, that's how I like it. And so this Thursday night, first round, rotating, going through Kansas City, all this stuff. Whatever. Anyway.
Let me ask you this right quick. Who is your favorite I want to know your favorite and your least favorite kind of NFL guy that tends to appear on the NFL draft coverage.
Okay. Like, it's amazing that you have these guys who specialize in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got the Ty McShays and the Mel Kiper Juniors, right? So,
Right.
I mean, it's either one or the other, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I like a Chris Berman, Radio City Music Hall. Those were good days, you know, when you get old Boomer up there.
Yep.
Just like when he used to host the Home Run Derby. He might still do it. I don't remember. I haven't watched the Home Run Derby in a long time. But you know, something about Chris Berman reminds me of my childhood. Rest in peace, Chris Mortensen. He was a good one who passed away a few weeks ago. But I guess I like Kiper Jr. better than McShay.
Really? Wow. I feel like it's the total opposite. I'm literally polar opposite of you.
Really.
I like Kiper.
I like Kiper. I mean, Kiper's just Kiper. He's just always been there.
He's
I mean,
just annoying.
He's got the hair. I mean, it's just. I mean, I think the people who impersonate him too. It's just a good time.
I'm working on it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to embarrass.
You need to do
myself.
it for an NFL draft special here on
no.
Row 60.
I can't.
Give a Mel Kiper impersonation.
Maybe next year. I'm just now nailing down my Desmond Howard impersonation. So
what's Desmond saying about
I'm not. Let's just save all this for actual college football season. All right, let's talk about G-Day, Adam. Let's start with the tailgate.
Man.
We had a fun time at our tailgate. Yeah, it was good to see some of y'all. We saw Philip Carroll and his family.
Yeah.
All the way from Kentucky.
From Lexington, Kentucky, man. Yeah, bringing one of their sons there to come and be in Athens and look like they're having a great family time. Love that, man.
Yeah.
And I think they hit up some baseball games where they were down there too and everything. Big Hunter White was there.
Yeah.
And some others too as well that we were glad to see. And thanks for swinging by. You know, it was the first time we've done an event like that, Clark. And hopefully it's something that we advertise better and build upon too, going into the regular season as well.
Yeah.
So I know there's some interest for some folks out there and some guys and girls who couldn't make it up to G-Day this go around, but it's going to be around Athens for the regular season, Clark, and we're going to do something else, man.
Yeah.
We're going to keep growing the community.
Right. As I told people, this was sort of a scrimmage tailgate, you know, if you will.
Yeah.
It was kind of
like a spring game,
right,
on G-Day.
Exactly.
Scrimmage tailgate on a scrimmage game day.
Yeah.
You know?
But no, it was fun. And so great day. I mean, beautiful weather. You couldn't ask for better.
It felt good to tailgate at G-Day because that's something we traditionally don't do.
Yeah.
It's tailgate at G-Day, but it kind of, you know, I was telling my wife as we were driving to Athens that day that, man, it just feels like it's the first Saturday in October. And I just want it. And then she was getting on to me. She's like, don't wish my summer away. She always gets on me and I'm like, oh, let's just make it to September, you know.
Yeah.
And, but she loves her summer. So, but I was like, man, it just feels like it's October 7th or something, you know. And but no, it's a beautiful day. Athens, a lot of people were tailgating out for G-Day, man. And I thought it was a pretty decent little crowd that showed up.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, I feel like, you know, they had half the stadium closed off for construction. They're building the new press box. I think they're still working in some of the corridors and that sort of thing. So, but no, it was a good turnout. Lots of people were there. I think generally people are pretty excited about this season. There's still a lot of question marks for us fans. It's like, man, how are we going to pan out? We know we're going to get to the playoffs, but how are we going to pan out in the regular season?
What's this?
Well, yeah, there's some unknown in that. But if you look at the roster, if you actually watch G-Day, man, we got some real talent. But before we get to that, you got to talk about your Breda Pest Control Doghouse Shuffle event.
Yeah, I was selected.
So tell us, tell the people,
okay,
as if we don't know what happened, if we weren't there.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Yes, well, Breda Pest Control is a good pest control company.
Oh, are they?
They control a lot of pests.
Are you getting paid to say this?
I am not, but they are, you know, the official pest control of the Georgia Bulldogs.
So they have to be top tier.
So, right. And as you know, any Saturday in Athens, you do the Doghouse Shuffle, right, Clark? I think at the Braves games, they have the Braves helmets with the baseball underneath the helmet, right?
Yeah.
At least they used to back in like 2002 or something. Like, but it was in some weird pixels back then because, you know, Jumbotrons weren't Jumbotrons back then. But, I mean, it's been something since I can remember seeing a Jumbotron in a sporting event that you have these shuffling games, Clark, to match whatever sport, university, what have you, the game is affiliated with in the stadium, correct? Right. So obviously for many years in Sanford Stadium, it has been the Doghouse Shuffle. Harry Dawg has been a part of it at some times, the Doghouse and whatnot. And you pick which Doghouse has what's underneath the Doghouse? I can't even remember.
I think it's just I think it might be a Breda Pest Control logo.
It is a Breda Pest Control logo underneath the Doghouse. Yeah, that's exactly
There's
right.
3 doghouses, and they all go in a crazy formation.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You got trying to get a little eye trickery going on for you there. So, but no, I mean, it was one of them deals, man, where got selected for it. Normally, of course, during the regular season, real football games, I mean, they don't have somebody they're recognizing picking it. But the spring game, get a little crowd interaction and everything going on a little bit slower. So I got to go on the field, Clark. And I think we did the Doghouse Shuffle at the beginning of the second quarter, and I got to spend the whole first quarter on the sideline. Right by the black team.
By the black team.
By the black team. And so it was neat. I'm just down there, acting like I've been here before. I had my pass, I got my pass around my wrist, just kind of giving these numbers to people, give them a head nod, everything. I'm watching Kirby over there, I might give a clap or two. Just kind of taking
You can't get too wild.
No, I'm not acting like I hadn't been here before. Right. I mean, you don't do that.
You got to act civil.
You got to act like you belong. Right. And that's like, I mean, of course, on the inside, I'm like, this is awesome. If people just knew what I'm just, acting like I've been there. I had on a good game day polo shirt and some nice Columbia shorts on and my Georgia official team Nike shoes. And I had my official, I meant to bring it. I got it on my dresser at the house right now. But my G-Day Breda Pest Control sideline pass.
Oh, yeah.
All access pass. Yeah, I should have brought that bad boy. But anyway, so I got to take in like the first quarter of the game from the sideline. Really enjoyed that, being field level. And anyway, so I get out there. So the lady who kind of was my coordinator for the Breda Pest Control Doghouse Shuffle had her headset on and was kind of giving me, kind of the update on what we were going to do, where I was going to stand. I'm sitting there. I'm like, you're right. Okay, that sounds good. Yeah. She asked me if I've been to Sanford Stadium before, and I said a time or two.
I said, she only knew.
She said if I come to many Georgia games, I said I like to make as I like them. I'm a big Georgia fan. Yeah. I enjoy Georgia football. I mean, it's always a good time to come down here. So made some small talk with her and everything. So she said, I can't tell you the answer, okay, Clark? So this is like, I mean, a little bit before. And I'm just thinking, thank God I'm not doing like the all-state field goal. Or like trying to throw a football into a Dr. Pepper can. Right? I mean, just something that it just requires some eye discipline and some common sense and brain knowledge to complete this, right? Not having to have any athletic paralysis out there, not to embarrass yourself in front of thousands of people, right? So I'm like, I got this. She said, I can't tell you the answer, but who's the number one team? And so I'm like, I got you there. Good deal there, sweetheart. I got you. Okay. So anyway, right before I take the field, it's time to go. She's saying, oh, go stand at the 20. And she said, remember, who's the number one team in the nation? I'm like, I got you. So anyway, I get to the 20, and if anybody's been to Sanford Stadium, they stand at about the 20-yard line on the south and the north side. You look at the stands, the cameraman's right there. You're on the Jumbotron. You can't look up at the Jumbotron and watch yourself because you got to interact with the crowd. So I'm sitting there and I'm waving. I'm tipping my hat. I'm pointing at people. Acting like I've been there. Like I'm actually being recognized because people are actually been recognized on the field, like professors, former Georgia athletes, and most importantly, like military heroes and stuff. Yeah. So I'm just pretending. I'm nobody. They're just Adam Thornton from the Breda Pest Control Doghouse Shuffle, but I'm still my moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, I'm like, I better get in this. I turn to my left, Clark. The Doghouses are shuffling. They're shuffling.
Adam, can I tell you my perspective?
Yes,
so I'm sitting up there. We're on row 60, and I'm looking down, and I'm trying to record Adam, but also I want to see what the number is, because in the event that Adam is clueless, I want to be able to shout loud enough that Adam can hear me from the stands. But I'm looking at Adam. Adam's looking towards the stands, towards us, and then I kind of look to my right. And yeah, you're right. The Doghouses just start shuffling. And they start moving at a quick,
rapid pace, man.
Yeah.
So I immediately kind of panic a little bit there, Clark, because I never got to see where we started. Where was the Breda Pest Control logo, which Doghouse was it under? Because we're shuffling something. I'm just going to pick one up, and I'm going to stay cool, calm, and collective. I think I know what the answer is and everything, but I wasn't sure at that time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to ace this thing. I've done this millions of times at millions of different sporting events, right? Mm-hmm. And so we get to the end of it, and of course they have I have a 1, 2, or a 3, big laminated 1, 2, or 3. So I get to the end. I kind of pause a little bit. I kind of hesitate because I'm like, well, she really kind of told me the answer, Clark. I can't miss this in front of these thousands of people. Be the first person to miss a shuffle. Right. Any sporting event, any of them. I mean, young, like 6-year-old children have got these things right at baseball games and basketball games all over the country.
Yeah.
Minor league baseball games all over the country. Savannah Bananas games all over the country. All this stuff. So I look in I see some people, and like usually everybody yells out something. Well, there wasn't a lot of crowd like yelling one.
Right.
So I just I saw some people just hold up the one finger.
The number one.
And then I realized, she had said, who's the number one team? So it's got to be one. So I hold up the number one up for the camera to get it. And I'm, panning across the stadium like I'm, one of those showgirls in a boxing ring talking about which round we're going to, right? So, so I'm holding that bad boy up, and then I'm like, I hope my one is right side up, not upside down. So it was good. It was number one. I got a good Breda Pest Control bag. I got $200 in pesticide product.
Nice.
Gift cards to use. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so that was good. And a little Georgia swag bag as well.
Nice. So let me ask you about the $200 gift card, because that's the biggest draw here, right? I mean, really $200 of pesticides.
And pesticide
that
is
big.
Prime. That is exciting. So I have declared war at the house on any type of cockroaches, any invasive species. So does the insect world is going to try to come around the Thornton household.
So how do you redeem those gift cards? Is it like
25? I got like what? So what would it be? It would be 8 $25 gift cards, Clark.
So does that mean you go to Breda, their storefront?
Yeah. I mean, you go online. You go online to BredaPestControl.com. Go check out the team over there, and you might get to get hooked up with the representatives. Plug. Yeah, I mean, you can be hooked up with the representatives there if you got some. If you got, I don't know, man. If you got kind of some termite damage, some stuff going on, maybe kind of got to get them out. I don't know if termite damages. They probably can't like repair the termite damage, but we probably could get rid of said termites, prevent that, right? In the case of if you have some old wooden structures that might be in danger of termites, or if your wife don't like a cockroach coming through the house, so we could get that eliminated, and just a lot of stuff, a lot of options.
Oh man,
be better with Breda.
Oh, that is their saying, isn't it? No,
is it? It might be.
I really think I've heard that on the radio.
Yeah, that is right. That's what. Yeah. So be better with Breda.
That and Miss Barbara Dooley. We'll see you at
Bulldog Kia.
Yep.
Or get a better woof, 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 woof.
I hate that. We are going off the rails. If people, y'all, for one, it's 10 o'clock at night.
There's nothing more better than a Bulldog Saturday. Everyone starts off with, there's nothing better than a Bulldog Saturday in Athens, Georgia, between the hedges.
Yeah. That does sound like
every ad.
On the radio after the game.
My granddaddy first took me to my first Georgia game, and I went to Athens when I was 5 years old. And from then on out,
I've been a dog. Oh, my gosh. All right. Let's talk X's and O's a little bit.
No good. It's no good. What? No, like the lead into the radio broadcast. You get a classic call leading into the, the dun 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 dun. This is the IMG, radio station. Yeah. All that deal.
This is getting out of hand. Our ADHD, that combined with the fact that it's 10:12 at night. Oh boy,
and we haven't been on the mic in a while.
Yeah, and we're a little rusty.
Yeah,
but bear with us, y'all. This is fun. This is good stuff. G-Day, Adam, let's talk the offense, the defense, who we saw first team out there. I know, like I said earlier, I didn't watch much of the game. I was more concerned about fellowshipping, just being in Sanford Stadium, and I know you are too.
That's right.
Obviously, let's just run down the depth chart of who we saw out there first team, obviously on offense. Adam, big shocker here. Carson Beck.
That's good. Yeah. That's good. I mean, this is where NIL is actually been a good thing, Clark. If you want to look at a glass half full to NIL and what has changed in college football on a positive side for your team is a guy like Carson Beck would not be in Athens if it wasn't for NIL, man. So now he gets to add another sleeve of tattoos on one of his limbs, and he gets to drive a Lamborghini and still play quarterback at the University of Georgia. So we're all for that here at Row 60, right? I mean, that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a leg sleeve, if you will, tat sleeve, on his left leg, I believe, or maybe it's right. So he's going to have to get the other one, and he can afford that.
Yeah,
now.
He
can afford a lot of things.
Yeah. So I mean, so that's good. Good on him, man. Get it how you live. You know that type deal. And but I mean, that's what I'm saying is NIL's afforded that number 15's back under center in Athens, man. And in all seriousness, I'm excited about that. You know, I thought last year he exceeded expectations. And I think he'll take another step this year too, man. And I mean, we've talked about it. You got to have a dominant defensive front and defense overall and an experienced quarterback to win national championships. That's what the common denominator is for all these national championship teams over the past few years, man. And, you know, Carson Beck could be the best quarterback in the country. I think all the preseason, the Field Steel magazines, you know, if there are still Athlon preseason magazines out there, then, you know, Carson Beck be number one quarterback in the nation, I think.
Well, I think he's the Heisman favorite as of today, or he was last week. Or something.
Was he now?
Yeah, a Heisman favorite.
Hey,
so
put it on him, man. I mean, I think this offense is going to be special.
Now you posed a question in G Day, and you know, first of all, let's preface all of this G Day talk with this. You got to take it with a grain of salt. You know, I mean, there's only so much you can deduce from a spring game. Yeah. But Carson Beck, you asked me this. Do you think that some of this stuff might be going to his head a little bit? And do you, I mean, if that's the case, are we going to see that in the fall?
I don't know, man. You know, you think about it, but I don't really know him personally, but I think he is somebody who's hungry. I think, you know, coming short of getting a ring as the starting quarterback for the University of Georgia last year, just short. Maybe get a taste of that. I think he'll be hungry and dialed in come the fall, man. But we'll see. I mean, we're entering a new era where I feel like personally you haven't seen collegiate players. I mean, they've always been paid. We know that from the beginning. Yeah. From the beginning, they've gotten Trans Ams and Cadillacs and
Dodges, Chargers,
Hellcats. A lot of that in Tuscaloosa in the early 2010s. But anyway, so I mean, they've always had that. But I mean, this is, I think, more money than a lot of these athletes have ever gotten in college at a young age too, man. So we'll see how that transpires. I mean, any young person like that, it's definitely got to go to your head a little bit. But some manage it better than most. I think Carson Beck will. I think he will, and I think he's got the respect of his team, man. He's a field general. He's a leader out there, and you know, it was wild seeing him play as much as he did at G-Day because you really had only two healthy quarterbacks out there, Clark.
Because Pug's hurt.
Pug's hurt. He was on crutches. I was standing beside him on the sideline there when I was waiting for the Bread of Pest Control Doghouse Shuffle. So I saw him up on a crutch, and I was like, Pug, man. You all right?
Yeah. Well, what did he say back to you?
I didn't say that.
No,
I was being professional, you know. But no, I saw him right there in all seriousness, and he'll be special. But you know, I mean, the quarterback room is thin. In years past, you've had about 4 guys that you've seen get a lot of time before you even get to the preferred walk-ons.
Yes,
tried it out there in G-Day, right?
Yeah, and I think that's the one place you talk about depth on this team that might be, and we've got some good depth. I mean. I don't think, hopefully, knock on wood, we're not going to have to get down to our third string at quarterback. But Kirby does like to have 4 scholarship quarterbacks.
That's right.
From our understanding. So, moving on, though, tight ends, you know, next man up.
Gunnar Stockton had a great throw, too.
Oh, he did, yeah.
Early-yard bomb was that was good. That was good, man. Excited about Gunnar. I think he is a guy who you got to feel comfortable with being number 2.
Yep. Tight ends, once again, big shoes to fill, obviously, no doubt about it. But man, Oscar Delt, Lawson Lucky, those 2 guys they're going to turn it on this year. And we saw a lot of 2 tight end sets early on in the spring game, and I think that's going to be what we do a lot this season is use our tight ends. A lot of people criticize Mike Bobo early on for not using tight ends as much as he should have. And
right.
I don't think you can say that anymore. I mean, we just have an embarrassment of riches.
Man. I mean, Todd Hartley's done a great job. You feel like Oscar Delp and Lawson Lucky, especially Delp right now, his third season here at Georgia, and first without Brock Bowers in front of him. I mean, he is the guy. He is the leader in that room, and I think Lawson Lucky will take a big step up his sophomore year from his freshman year. And I think those are the two guys right now to be looking for in that room, man. And they're great players, and they were highly regarded as well. I think that's just overshadowed by how special and generational Brock Bowers was, Clark. Yeah. So now it's going to be a good time for those guys to get out there and get theirs, man. And they got a good field general and Carson Beck to get them the ball. They got a good offensive line that they'll be putting their hand in the dirt with beside them, and I think everything sets up for them to have a successful year.
Let me ask you this. Do we retire? Should we petition to have Brock Bowers' jersey retired?
Whew. I think
three-time All-American. I think only 3 Dogs ever do it, 47, 34.
Two-time national championship.
Two-time national champion. That's something 34 nor 47 could say.
Yeah, 34 should have had 3.
Yeah,
but that's beyond the point. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that, Clark. I don't know if that's a thing of the past, that not doing that anymore. But if there was ever one since Herschel Walker, it would be Brock Bowers. I mean, you can make an argument with David Pollock, and I mean that Georgia area right there, that 01 to 04 class, who won the first SEC championship that Georgia had in 20 years. I mean, that was special. Kind of put Georgia back on the map, and through a dark decade in the 90s, man. So, I mean, you have that, but 2 national championships and what the vital piece Brock Bowers was, and like you said, the All-American status he had. Yeah, I mean, if you're still doing it, he's definitely deserved it, but I think it's almost a thing of the past. You won't see that be done anymore. But Clark, that's a great point to bring up. That I absolutely.
Well, and I think part of the problem is nowadays you get 2 numbers, offense and defense. You can have technically 2 number 19s, and 19 is it's always that number will be used on both sides of the ball with the amount of guys we have on scholarship. Right. It's what happens. Skill guys will get it, and then
I think there needs to be a Monument Park type deal. I think there should be statues of Herschel, Brock Bowers,
Kirby.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Vince Dooley?
Vince Dooley, some of these guys, Is
that too Alabama though? Is that?
No,
that seems like too much of an Auburn thing.
I don't think so. A lot of other people have statues.
That's true.
I think we should have some statues, man. I enjoy a good statue, good not a monument, but because they're still with us, but
right.
But a statue,
Sure.
And I think it's something too. You look at Brock Bowers, Clark, and I could be wrong on this, but you look at it. Herschel Walker was 80 through 82, David Pollock 01 through 04, Brock Bowers 21 through 23. You look, it's almost like every 20 years you get a very generational player at Georgia.
Wow.
Like, I mean, you've had good players in between them and special players, right? Clark's special talent who goes on to have great NFL careers. And, of course, a lot of guys who have had more good NFL careers than David Pollock, who was cut short because of an injury. But you talk about just how special they were to their position group and their team while they were in Athens, man. And those 3 are the ones I think that stick out. You think they're just special out there. I mean, just once in a generation type players. And I think you get one of them every 20 years to that level.
For sure.
And Bowers is one of them.
Yep.
For sure.
Moving on to receivers, Adam, I'm going to maintain this throughout the entire 2024 season, whatever you want to call this. We have easily one of the top 3, if not the best, wide receiver room in the nation.
Wow.
And I'm going to stick with that, and I might be wrong. I might be eating crow, but I don't think so, man. Dylan Bell, Arian Smith, Dominic Lovett, Colby Young had a day at G-Day. And once again, take it with a grain of salt, but, man, it's good to see his size. He's going to be one of those guys, Adam. Yeah. You're in the red zone. You need a touchdown. You need a score. You need a guy who you can throw a little fade, a little flag route to in the back corner of the end zone. That's your guy.
That's going to be the guy, man. I mean, you think about him. You got Colby Young coming in from Miami, big body receiver, like you were talking about, guy. And then we saw what Ra Thomas could do. Him and Carson Beck's chemistry of jump ball on the pylon right there.
Yeah.
So you got two big body receivers to put on the outsides there. That's something that Georgia hadn't had in a long time. Is two big guys like that on the outside at that receiver position, man.
Yeah.
And we talked about in earlier podcasts that we started this year on about how special we think Dylan Bell could be, how he closed the year last year, Clark. And Arian Smith has had moments, man. If everything just connects with him, I mean, the speed, he's the fastest guy on the field. Nobody can run with him. And he's made some big plays throughout his career as a veteran guy. And
then you got Dom, great route runner.
And I'll say it right now, Dominic Lovett's going to be the best receiver on the team.
I thought you said Dylan Bell was.
I did earlier until the spring.
G-Day?
Until G-Day in the spring. I think Dominic Lovett will be the number one guy on.
Here's the thing about it, man. I think Josh Pate said this in one of his podcasts, but you're probably not going to have a 1,000-yard receiver with all these guys, but you're going to have a lot of guys who at any given point during the season could go off. Any one of the guys, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which is exciting. It's like, who's going to go off this week? It's that's going to drive defensive coordinators insane. And we failed to mention another guy who's going to get some playing time this year for sure. Anthony Evans.
Yeah, and London Humphreys.
London Humphreys,
from Vanderbilt.
Now is he healthy though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think
he's healthy. I mean, he was out there. He was out there. Okay. Yeah.
Was he on the black team?
I can't remember.
I think he
remember.
was.
I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure I saw him out there.
Okay.
But yeah, Clark, I mean, you got a lot of guys, a lot of special talent in that wide receiver room. And when you have a quarterback like Carson Beck, the ability, the arm strength, and the experience to get the football to you, and you got an offensive line who could be historically good at the University of Georgia this year, that's what you want to hear in a wide receiver room if you're a receiver, man. A gunslinger with the time to throw it.
Right. Equally as stacked is our running back room. And look, I'm sure all y'all know by now, Andrew Paul did transfer. That sucks. Wish him the best. No hard feelings. It's just the times we live in.
Tore his ACL in camp one year, and I think just hadn't been able to get over that. Tore it going into his true freshman year in 22. And didn't could get significant carries last year, kind of buried in the depth chart, and just really couldn't. I think still with that ACL giving them some issues, man. And with Trevor Etienne coming in, he just felt it was best, and I think he'll probably go out. I don't know if I hadn't read in the past few days if he's officially named anywhere, but now this window of the portal, he can't go to another SEC team, so it'll be somewhere like going back to Texas, like to a SMU or a Texas Tech or something, probably.
Well, and we're left with Trevor Etienne, Roderick Robinson. Those were kind of the 1-2. That was a 1-2 punch for the first team, and then obviously Branson Robinson. Then you got a Cash Jones, so you got some depth there. Really good running back room. I'm excited to see those guys. Let's move to our offensive line. Let's speed this up just a hair.
Yeah, we need to speed it up a little bit. Etienne's just going to be the man.
He's going to be. I didn't realize he was only 5'9".
Yeah, he's going to be special.
He plays a little bit bigger than that.
Roderick. I mean, a lot of time to talk about that, but you're right.
Offensive line, like you mentioned, this could very well be a historic offensive line. And, it's kind of a sneaky good, veteran-ridden unit.
That's right.
You got Xavier Truss coming back for what seems like his 8th year. You got Tate Ratledge coming back, senior. Jared Wilson, new guy, filling in for Cedric Van Pran. And
who historically one of the best centers to ever play at Georgia, I feel like. Cedric Van Pran. I think he should be in that conversation. It's a big shoes for Wilson to fill, but like you said, some experience around him.
Yeah. And Kirby's talked very highly of him. I think he's going to fill in some he's going to fill in a gap there.
I think so too, man.
Then you got Dylan Fairchild, played a lot of snaps last year. You got Ernest Green, also a guy. All these guys have snaps. They've got some snaps under their belt, and they've played a lot of football leading up to this point. So arguably, I think Carson even said this. He was like, they should win the Joe Moore Award at the end of the year. Yeah,
they should. And year 3 now under Stacey Searles. So finally got a little continuity in that O-line room as far as coach, who's kind of got his guys in there, kind of stayed there for 3 years. Had Luke stay for he was there from 2021 and 2021, correct? That was
Sounds
it.
right, yeah.
Yeah, it was just 2 years, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
So it's nice to kind of get some stabilization, Clark.
There you go.
In that offensive line room, man, and some special talent. So, I mean, I'm excited. The offense, man, I don't see a red and black glasses. I understand, blinded to it, but I don't see a weak link in the whole when you run through the position groups.
I'm with you.
You stay, hopefully stay healthy. Stay healthy. I mean, I know, of course, injuries are going to happen, obviously, especially with a longer year and hopefully more games being played this year and tougher opponents, man. But hey, when you're looking at that starting 11, man, it's going to be something
I don't
special.
know. I don't know if there is a better starting 11. And once again, I mean, a little biased here on row 60. But, man, you look at this objectively even. We got some dudes.
Yeah, I mean, you heard through just practices that the offense dominated the defense, especially in the trenches. And looks like at G-Day, it was the opposite. The D-line got the best of the O-line, man. So, I mean, you can't tell anything through that. I just think both units are going to be really good.
Yeah.
I think and that's what you want.
And it's good in this offseason. You got two really strong units. You got a good, solid defensive line. Really hoping big things out of them this year, but you got them going up against a very strong offensive line every single day at practice. It's
right.
They're head on head, good on good. So
that's right.
That's good to know that they're all competing against each other. All right, defense. Let's talk about them a little bit. Let's show them some love.
Let's do it.
Outside linebacker first team, saw a little Gabe Harris.
Gabe Harris.
Chaz Chambliss.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, Chaz, I don't think we've ever mentioned him on the podcast, Clark.
Chaz Chambliss? Man, I don't think so either. Yeah, can't recall.
Nah, man, excited to have Chaz back. We've definitely mentioned Chaz and setting the edge in the same sentence multiple times. Yeah. But to us who are not in the arena, Clark, and in the film room, a lot of outside noise tells you that he's doing his job.
Yeah.
To the naked eye of the fan, it doesn't look that way, but in some sense. But excited to have a veteran guy like Chaz, man.
Right.
Going to be another. It's good to have him in the outside linebacker room. You got guys like Marvin Jones who's transferred out, but I'm excited to see what we do with that. I'm excited to see too how they play Michael Williams
right
on the outside and DeAndre Walker out there too at the same time. Oh,
DeAndre Walker,
God,
DeAndre Walker.
I went back a few years there.
You went back, yeah.
I went back about 10 years. Did I?
No, not that far.
About 8 years.
I mean, that was like, what, 16, 17, 18?
Jalen Walker.
Yeah, Jalen Walker.
I was going to say DeAndre Walker.
Yeah,
that's about, what, 16, 17?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jalen Walker. Excuse me. Jalen Walker, who I feel like who should get a lot of reps this year, man, who I think was underutilized last year, in my personal opinion, Clark.
Right.
I think when you get him and then you get Michael in his new position, kind of on that outside linebacker edge rush, you get them two on the outside. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, Michael, it looked like he was still playing a little defensive end, kind of. But he's kind of like that drop in. He is just, man, he's one of those guys. He's got some height to him. But he's strong enough to play on the line if needed. So, I don't know. Michael, I think he's poised to have a really good season.
He's going to be a dude this year. I think he's going to put his hand in the dirt. And he's going to line up with that outside linebacker position too, man. And I'm ready to see it. This is money year for him.
Yeah.
A lot of concern at first that somebody was going to buy him. I think Southern Cal was trying to set him up. Hopefully, saw what's happened with Barry Alexander and just said, "Nah, the NIL quick cash payday right now." And this is what these kids need to know, man, is how important it is, especially when they watch this NFL draft coming up this weekend. Clark, is hey, do I go get some quick cash right now and then just disappear in Los Angeles at Southern Cal under a freaking abysmal Southern Cal Lincoln Riley defense, right? Even though they got a new DC out there, I mean, still, it's not going to be like what you can be developed by Trey Scott and Kirby Smart and Glenn Schumann, and make your money this year, man, and go be a top 10 NFL draft pick and get, I mean, the money they get from Southern Cal will be life-changing to me, but real cash.
Generational money.
Cash, man. Get, I don't know what a good bling.
I don't know.
Get it. Get it. So, I mean, just know, stay in Athens, man. So, I think Michael is safe. He's going to stay in Athens. He looked great in the spring, man, in the spring game.
He had an interception.
I think he is going to cause a lot of havoc and have a big junior year that's going to catapult him into, Clark, I think I think it'd be a top 15 pick.
Oh.
Get him ball!
Please tell me it's fair. Sorry, we're watching the Clemson game, Georgia Clemson. I don't think, Almost a walk-off home run.
Oh,
I'm just going to go ahead and warn
Sorry.
y'all, if this happens, if there's a walk-off of any sort,
man, that would have been sweet.
we will go crazy.
All right.
Yeah, defensive line, though, returning some veterans here, Warren Brinson and Nazir Stackhouse, back for what once again seems like an 8th year.
Yeah.
But veteran guys, need them this year to step up in a big way and cause some havoc and
That's right.
take on a bunch of blocks. So for the guys behind them, we got C.J. Allen now wearing Adam number 3.
What'd that make you think of out there?
Little Roquan Smith.
Yes, sir, man.
And he's got, it's not like a neck pad or anything on his shoulder pads, but his shoulder pads are a little raised.
Right.
There's so little room between the back of his helmet and, sorry, we're watching the Clemson game, Georgia Clemson game. There's so little room between the back of his helmet, the bottom of it, and his shoulder pads.
Yeah.
There's it looks like he doesn't have a neck.
He does, man. But he's going to be special. We saw a glimpse of it in his true freshman year last year, and he's going to be the next great guy, inside linebacker, Clark. I mean, in a long line of just studs between Roquan Smith and Kobe Dean, other guys. He's special. Raylan Wilson's special too, Clark.
Yeah.
And seeing what they do in year 2, there's some guys, man, that they're going to be good. They're going to be good.
Right.
When they stepped on campus, that the Jamin Dumas Johnson, Smile Mondon, need to watch their back with them coming in. We were talking about that this time last year, and now they got 1 year under their belt. Smile Mondon, of course, will be back. He's been dinged up during the spring, man. But I think eventually, I'll just say it. I think Wilson and Allen are going to be your 2 most talented inside linebackers.
Wow. Yeah, they definitely have the talent. I just think,
and you got Damon Wilson on the outside too. Just an embarrassment of riches out there. It's going to be interesting to see how it all shapes up, where they put everybody.
Safety/star position, Ja'Cory Thomas, number 20. Back there at safety. We got a little Dan Jackson at the star. Malachi, obviously, banged up, did not play G-Day. And then Jonel Aguero.
Highly talented guy.
Yeah.
Highly talented guy, man. Excited to see him step up this year. That's kind of a position group that we look at that you lost a lot of guys over the past couple of years, Clark. A lot of key guys who've done a lot of good things. Of course, you got Malachi Starks in his money year, his junior year coming in. He's going to be the veteran and leader of that group. But a lot of talent in that secondary and that star role.
And then, obviously, cornerbacks, we saw Julian Humphrey start and Dalen Everett. So nothing really nothing really changed. We lost Kamari Lassiter, but Humphrey got some playing time last year. Obviously, Dalen Everett was opposite of Lassiter, and so that's your 1-2 right now, as of now. And that very well could change.
It's going to change. You got Ellis Robinson coming, and then we talk about in the secondary, you got KJ Bolden coming, man. And Humphrey, a guy who flirted with the portal a little bit. Who knows what's going to happen there? But Dalen Everett, we talked about him last year. He had some, he had some growing pains, and I think he's going to prove a lot of people wrong here in this upcoming season, man. I think he's going to be a guy who's going to be a staple at his cornerback position, and then we're going to see if Ellis Robinson's the guy, and then there's one guy, and I'm drawing a blank, number 7.
Oh yeah, tall guy.
Tall guy. What
I can't remember his name.
I cannot believe it's too late at night. He looks like just a stud.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. Dadgummit. It was
okay.
to me like 2 a.m. this morning.
We'll move on.
A lot of talent there. Yeah. So we'll just see how it shapes out. A lot of good position battles going into August, man.
What's really unique about G-Day has nothing to do with any of the players we just mentioned.
Yeah.
It has to do with the fact that it ended up in a freaking tie.
It did.
It was 20-20.
It did.
And Adam, I was fuming.
Yeah.
Because we did not get free football.
Clark, this isn't soccer. This isn't soccer. We don't tie. There's no tie in college football.
Right.
There's no 3 columns at the final record.
No, there's not. I think there used to be.
Oh, there used to be back in the day, but we changed that.
Before we had stadium lights.
So why do we not just, they should have just, I thought we were going to OT. But then Kirby said, no, we're just going to go on back. And I understand you don't want to risk injury, man.
Just do like a field goal challenge between the two teams.
Something. Or line it up on the 2. And do a goal line Oklahoma type deal. Yeah, get the fans to see that. So.
You could have done Carson versus Gunner. Who can throw it the punt, pass, and kick.
Punt, pass, kick competition. Something. Something. So
God.
I want to know, my question is, so it went to a tie, and I want to know, so did the whole team eat steak and seafood and everything, or did the whole team eat hot dogs?
Uh-oh. Yes.
What?
Come on.
Go, get down. Oh, no. Why are you sending him, coach?
All right, here's what happened.
My
We're
gosh.
going to give you all a rundown on this.
What in the world? That third base coach needs to be fired. How are you sending it?
All right, listen. It's 3-2, okay? We've got runners on second and third. We had runners on second and third. A good base hit went over the second baseman's head, landed. We scored 1 run, tied 3-3.
That's a blessing.
With 1 out, and then we sent Charlie Condon for the game-winning run.
Got a little aggressive. Got a little aggressive
at home.
Got a little aggressive.
But that's okay. We still got
a little aggressive.
We got a guy on first. We got a guy on first.
Do you think he got under?
No.
Do you think he got under? No, I mean, there's no way. But what's Wes Johnson doing out there?
Just a little
blooper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand sending Charlie Condon.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Clark. I don't know. All right.
Let's we got to finish this episode.
I think he got his hand under the tag, Clark. Ooh. Watch it. Oh,
Nah,
Clark.
I don't know.
Clark, I think he did.
I'm always a pessimist when it comes to reviews.
We'll
Is there indisputable video evidence?
Yes, there was indisputable. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Is it
there
being
was.
challenged? Is it under review?
What a great game this is,
Oh,
y'all.
man.
I'm sorry. We're a little sidetracked, but
Hopefully people enjoy it.
we're going to keep rolling.
All right. Go ahead.
Some changes in NCAA football, college football for you. Helmet communication.
Wow.
Adam.
Yeah. So a lot of pros, like what you see in the pros these days, man.
Yep.
So so if you see a quarterback in the huddle in a loud environment, putting some earmuffs on, putting his hands over his ears there, it's old Bobo talking to him.
Right.
So I wondered, is there a channel that you have Bobo and Kirby? Are they talking over each other to the quarterback if Beck's out there? Or is it just a straight communication with Mike Bobo?
I'm going to put all my money on it being just a two-way with Mike Bobo and Carson Beck. So no Kirby involvement there, I don't think, but it ought to be interesting. I think this will shape college football. I really do think that. You're going to have a lot less signaling from the sidelines, a lot less dummy calls, and the guys wearing the alternate colors on the sideline, with
the big bed sheet over,
right.
And everybody doing different.
Those days really are.
You got
gone.
the 5'4" GAs like me out there doing everything with every color of the rainbow out there with sweatbands, wristbands.
My question is, does it work for the defensive player? Like, do you assign a Mike linebacker?
Yeah. The CJ Allen going to be wearing it, or Smile Munden? Yeah, I mean, that's a great question, Clark. I'm sure it is. I mean, if it's like the NFL, that's exactly right. You got the green dot on the back of the helmet.
Right.
That shows.
Now, I do know that like it will cut off. You can't just talk to the player during the play, right? So Carson Beck can't be dropping back and Mike Bobo screaming in his ear, rah Thomas is wide open.
Right.
So it does cut off 15 seconds before the play clock ends. But I think this is an interesting change, and we're going to see what happens with it.
Yeah.
Also, another thing, I don't like this. I don't know many people that will like this. Maybe the coaches, maybe the players will enjoy it. But 2-minute warnings.
Wow, that's going to take some getting used to, right?
Yeah, that's weird.
I mean, to get an extra timeout, essentially,
And for those watching at home, that means even more commercials.
Yeah, that's right. So, that's right.
But those won't happen each quarter. Once again, that's just before each half ends.
Just like the NFL. Just another step in making this pro football.
Yeah. I mean, it's borderline already pro football.
Just another step. So,
And then lastly, teams now have the option of using tablets to view in-game video replays.
You know what that means?
What's that mean?
That means your boys in the old film room, department like y'all had better be on their A game.
Oh,
because there's going to be some in-game shots that have to be took. They better be on their A game.
I'm going to tell you something.
What would you have done if you were, you had to get some good in-game? I mean, I know you had to do that in some instances, right? But this would be. What is this going to require to the video staff now, Clark? What is this going to put on the video staff?
You're going to have to stay cool, calm, and collected. All right. You can't get into the game. You got to if you're in the end zone, you got to make sure we're getting a tight shot. You want from end to end, basically. You want all the guys on the line of scrimmage, and you want them in the shot, and you're going to follow the ball. You're going to get a tight shot. If you're on the sideline, if you got the sideline angle, we're getting a wide view. We want all 22 guys in the shot. And that's important.
Let me ask you this. Does this ramp up the pressure now that players are going to be watching in-game?
Yes.
It does.
100%.
So 100%. So this was
also
something that was not like coaches didn't have tablets up in the booth. Like, did they get, did you record anything during your time? Was any of your shots seen in real time, like during the middle of the game?
Yes, only during instant replays when they didn't have, and some home games they didn't have this, when they didn't have enough angles.
Right.
So they would pull from the coach's film cameras in order to do that.
But this is a whole different.
Yeah, no, this is a whole different ball game.
So you're saying that the head manager, the video staff has got to absolutely ramp it up. Like, I mean, there's some more training going on.
100%.
Okay, all right. Yeah. That's what I wanted to know. That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, no, but seriously, that is going to be incredibly useful for each team in the football game. You get to go back in real time and watch what you just did and critique what you just did and make adjustments in real time. And up to this point, none of that was ever allowed. You can't see it in the press box, with coaches box, whatever, nor the sideline. But now that is going to be a thing.
There you go.
So very interesting.
Very interesting, Carl.
Adam, you told me earlier that the portal giveth.
It does.
The University of Georgia?
Yeah.
So who's this guy?
The portal taketh and the portal giveth, Clark. The portal giveth, the rumor. This is not, as of the recording on April 23rd, 2024, Clark. There is a rumor that Kirby wants like you mentioned earlier, he likes 4 quarterbacks, right? Yeah. 4 scholarship quarterbacks. One, Jaden Rashada from Arizona State has been in Athens this very week.
Wow.
Talking with Mike Bobo, Montgomery Van Gorder, and the likes of the offensive staff. Jaden Rashada, for those who don't remember at the house, is a 4-star quarterback who went to Arizona State.
Yeah.
Former 4-star quarterback, I believe. It might have been a 5-star. I think it was a 4, though. Don't quote me on that. But where it's nice is it is just one more thing to poke at our fun-loving neighbors of the South in Gainesville, Florida, the Florida Gators, who thought they had him, apparently lied about the NIL collective that they put together for him. He goes to Arizona State and is transferring, and so Jaden Rashada possibly coming to Georgia. I don't know the plans. Of course, he won't start over Carson Beck this year. I still think Stockton would be the guy, but he'll be in the mix, man. If he comes and, so we'll see how that competition goes. But highly touted guy. Obviously looking good, but who knows, man? Who knows in this day and I thought Caleb Downs was coming to Georgia. That Friday night that happened, I was all fired up. Then all of a sudden out of left field that happened. So I never take it to the bank that anybody's coming that you hear, but that's kind of the rumor right now. That's the hot rumor mill in the portal right now.
Okay. Let's skip to some NFL dogs.
Okay.
We got the draft in 2 days. When we release this, I like the NBC when it goes. Dun, 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 dun,
oh yeah.
Dun, dun. Oh no. Okay, anyway, NFL
With
dogs.
The first selection of the 2024 draft. Who got the first pick? The Bears?
The Bears, yeah, the Bears.
The Chicago Bears
They're taking Caleb Williams.
Quarterback,
USC.
Southern California.
Yeah, they won't say USC. They'll say something.
Yeah, I don't know, man. So tell us about the Draft Dawgs.
Well, we've got 2, I would say, guaranteed guys going in the first.
Yeah.
Maybe a third, but we'll talk about that in just a second. Brock Bowers, obviously. He's going in the first. Now, where he's going to go in the first round is really up for debate. There's some good betting odds on that. If you want to take him past the 12th or the 12th pick, you may win some money if you decide to do that.
Yeah. Really?
I think he's still favored within the 12th pick, but I've heard some teams like the Jets, the Colts may pick him up. They may be.
Oh, please don't go the Jets.
Yeah. I don't think any team isn't interested in Brock Bowers, but obviously there's a need for some teams more than others in terms of tight ends.
Colts wouldn't be bad. Colts wouldn't be bad. That's all right franchise to go to.
Yeah, that's fair. Amarius Mims.
Yeah.
He's definitely going in the first round. Could potentially go to the Ravens, maybe the Cowboys. That's kind of the two teams I'm hearing a lot of. Who knows?
Right.
Ladd McConkey, potentially first round pick. Adam, what do you think about that?
I think that'd be smart. I think whoever's going to get Ladd McConkey is going to get a guy who is going to be reliable for a long time in the NFL, man. I mean, he's just got that it factor about him.
Yeah,
he's got that it factor about him. And if he goes to the Kansas City Chiefs, possibly, like what you hear speculation, oh, man, Mahomes would love it. It would be a good fit for him. It would just be a unreal deal. Unreal deal. And I think a dream scenario for Ladd and the Chiefs. I think it'd be the perfect marriage, man. But I'm pulling for Ladd, man. I'm excited about him. I think he is going to be a guy who will have a good career. Mm-hmm. You know, he might not be a guy that you hear about every single Sunday, but I think he'll just be a steady guy right there, a reliable guy who is going to be a great possession receiver and do his job, man. And I think that's going to get him a expanded life in the NFL.
Sure, yeah.
He'll be better than Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah. And, I mean, he's not doing bad. Hunter Renfrow isn't in the league.
Where's he at now? I know the Raiders just cut him or something, didn't he?
I have no idea.
They did, but Ladd McConkey's better than Hunter Renfrow.
100%.
So, there you go.
And he didn't play as much football in college.
That's right.
To have to prove that. So.
That's right.
All right. Kamari Lassiter, potentially to the Texans. I think he's kind of a second-round guy.
I was about to say they kind of speculating a second-round guy.
Yeah.
Kamari. I think that'll be a steal for somebody, man. I think he's got the body type of NFL corner, and I always like what he's done at Georgia, of course. And I think whoever picks him up, especially in the second round, will get a steal.
Yeah, for sure. Then you got Javon Bullard. I'm hearing the Lions potentially. Okay. I mean, these are, this is all speculation, and it's 100% likely to change all of this. But maybe another second, third round guy.
He'd be somebody, Clark. I feel like if his intangibles were, his body type, if he was a taller, bigger guy, then he would be a first round pick.
100%.
But from his instinct and his play on the field and his IQ on the field, man, and just this playmaking ability, I think he would have been a first-round pick. I think the only thing holding Javon Bullard back from that is his size and going to the NFL.
But, man, he plays like he is, 6 foot, 6'1".
Oh, yeah.
Even 6'2". I mean,
he'll knock you out. Ask Marvin Harrison Jr. That's one of the top 5 picks that's going to be the other night.
For sure.
And Marvin Harrison Jr. don't want no part of the league.
No, I mean, he's a bad man, and I'm pulling.
That's right.
Not only for him, but for all these guys. Cedric Van Pran, now that is going to be a steal.
That would be a steal,
I don't know if he's a center in the league. I would imagine that's
he should be.
Yeah, I would imagine that's where he ends up. But I feel like he could potentially be a guard. He may be too undersized for that in the league. I don't know.
You know what the intangibles of the offensive lineman in the league should be.
No, that's not the intangibles.
That's the physique.
That's more like the tangible. Yeah,
the physique.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
what
makes you think that we need to slide him over to guard?
I don't know. Maybe because he's just a freak athlete, and I don't know.
I'm just kidding with you, man. I don't know, but again, I think one of the best centers to ever play at the University of Georgia, in my humble opinion.
Yeah. He may be like a 4th, 5th round kind of guy. But once again, I think somebody's getting a steal.
Yeah.
He's a little undersized, I think, to be a guard. But he would be a perfect center in the league. And even then, I think he may be a little undersized.
Yeah.
But, it doesn't always matter. Kendall Milton, Ty Key, Dejon, Zion, Marcus Rosemary, Jack Saint. Don't really know where these guys are going to end up. There's some potential those guys might not get drafted.
Yeah.
But I do think they would get signed on to a team, somewhere.
Kendall Milton, man, seeing him go in the late round, like a 6th, 7th round would be cool. If he could stay healthy, Clark, I think he could be an NFL back. You look at what Zamir White's doing.
Yep.
Zamir White is somebody who was not a very high draft pick, right? But has busted his tail, man, with the work ethic he has. And, has gotten himself in a good spot with the Raiders, I believe, last I heard. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
I think, and somebody who's getting a lot of touches, man, is supposed to this year. And Kendall Milton, I think, is a guy who has that potential. It's all going to be if the injury bug just doesn't stop biting.
Right.
So, hard worker, work ethic's there, really pulling for him. Yeah. Tyke Smith, I think he showed out in the Senior Bowl. The practices was the MVP of the Senior Bowl. man. Was an All-American at West Virginia. Had some good moments at Georgia, man. He had some injuries and stuff too. Dejon Edwards, hard runner. Hope he gets a chance, man. I can see him as an undrafted guy. Zion Lowe, we'll see, man. And Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint is somebody who I think has potential, you know. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I'm fired up for all these guys, you know, some true DGDs in this. And, man, I just remember watching Brock and Ladd that first game versus Clemson. Yeah. I do. I remember both of those guys and how they showed out. Man, I wish I could almost go back in time to just watch that season one more time.
It was great. It was great, and you knew we had something special.
But I was like, man, I just can't imagine like not having Brock Bowers. The past few years, that's what it's been like. You know,
the
life without Brock Bowers.
So, I mean, what's your favorite Brock Bowers moment?
You know, I was actually thinking about this the other day. I mean, there's obviously a bunch, but I'll tell you one of my favorite plays, and nobody probably in Georgia, the state of Georgia, or anywhere for that matter, is going to say this one specifically. But when we were getting beat in the SEC championship in 2021 to Alabama, they were stomping us, right? It's fourth quarter. I remember Brock Bowers took a screen for a touchdown late in the game. It was kind of one of those things like everybody kind of just gave up at that point. But, man, Brock Bowers didn't. And watching him run, it was probably about a 30-yard screen for a touchdown. But he went through about 5-6 Alabama defenders and got into the end zone. And, man, I'm telling you, there was something about that play. I remember watching him. And, I mean, up to this point, I knew he was special, but I was like, man, this kid, there's something about this kid that's just different.
Yeah.
And there's a million other plays I could point to, but that one specifically.
So when Brock Bowers is mentioned, you have a mental image of Brock Bowers. What image is, like, what game is that game then?
I'd say probably Orange Bowl, 2021.
Yeah.
That'd be one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I think of what year would it have been? His sophomore year in Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
That catch, man. That was amazing. To me, it'll always be, and it wasn't necessarily that it was such a great play. I mean, obviously, he made so many great ones. So it's kind of crazy not to think it was Auburn this past year, how he just took over that last
one. I forgot about that one.
But I think I go back to really it was a play Stetson made where he just lobbed it over the defender and he hit.
Oh, man.
And it was just easy, pitch and catch to Brock Bowers right there on the line of scrimmage, really. Clark, a little screen. And there was nobody in front of him who was running towards the end zone, for about, 8 yards or so?
Yeah.
Right in front of it on that third down play and kind of giving Georgia
that was the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, that was it right
essentially.
There. And that moment, I will never forget that, and will always, when I think of Brock Bowers, that will be the moment in my head is watching him cross the goal line during that play in Indianapolis that night.
Let's go with the skill player. Let's do this for each of these guys, and I don't want to take anything from Amarius Mims. I can't recall a specific Amarius Mims.
Him coming back to Georgia, not going to Florida State.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good.
What's your favorite Ladd moment?
When I think of Ladd, man, I think the most amazing play, obviously, was the Orange Bowl this past year.
Yeah.
And him playing in that game, right? I mean, that scramble was amazing. But when I picture Ladd McConkey, I picture him in SoFi Stadium against TCU.
Oh, man. He had a showing. Yeah, he sure did.
And that first touchdown pass to him, man, where he beat the guy and, his guns up. And, had a night that night. I think of Ladd. I think that's my Ladd McConkey.
My Ladd McConkey moment. God, there's so many. Ladd's my spirit animal, man. I love Ladd McConkey. I would say the most memorable moment and the best route he ran, Georgia, Tennessee, 2022.
Yes.
Little hitch and go.
Yep.
Absolutely scorched that corner.
And caught it sliding.
Yeah, I mean, it was just so smooth,
That's a
man.
good one, Clark. That's a good one.
And
That's
one
a
more,
good one.
One more while we're at it.
Yeah.
Mississippi State, 2022, same year, cold, freezing night, takes an end around to open up the second half and took it for
That's
6.
right. That was a good one. That was a good one. I like that, man.
Yeah. Kamari. I can't recall of
Kamari. I could think of one if it wasn't on the spot. We should have researched this before.
I know.
I think of Kamari Lassiter probably a lot. Probably Ohio State in the Peach Bowl.
Yeah.
I think he was not. Wasn't he? I mean,
Surely got a pick or something.
he's had
this
several
is
big picks.
embarrassing. We would be able to do this if I didn't put us on the spot.
Yeah.
And it weren't 11 o'clock at
But
night.
I cannot remember. I mean, I just remember. I mean, that's a good thing for a cornerback that you don't remember moments, because that means he's doing his job. But I mean, I think last year was solid, man. Opposite side of Keely Ringo, and I know he had some good moments, but I can't recall it right now. He definitely made some interceptions.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, he was
some big hits.
He was good.
Yeah,
he was good. He was good.
Javon Bullard, man, I think
I definitely got a couple on it.
Yeah. We'll just say the obvious
one.
When he clocked Marvin Harrison Jr. And I kind of don't feel bad for Marvin Harrison Jr. And I don't. Let me clarify. It sucks that he got hurt and he couldn't play the rest of the game. But at the same time, knowing that it was a clean hit, it's just football, man. Yeah. And Javon Bullard laid the freaking wood. He did. I mean, you could hear that. You could hear that hit from the upper.
You could.
Neck.
You could.
I mean, really,
man. And kind of, I mean, at that time, you're like, oh man, it's just, you thought it was a targeting call, that it was just looked like the game was out of reach, but kind of a swinging point there, And but it was a clean hit, good hit. I'll go with another one, man. That his interception of Max Duggan right before the half against TCU to give Georgia another possession to score again and just go en route to the biggest national championship blowout in history. At the time, the biggest blowout in bowl game history until Georgia beat Florida State this past year.
Yeah, broke our own record.
That's right.
Cedric Van Pran, same thing. I mean, can't necessarily recall something specific, but man, what a leader!
Leader on that offense.
Just a true
solid
leader.
Solid.
Kendall Milton, man, I don't know if we should do the rest of them. I feel like we're doing a disservice if we don't. But
yeah. But Kendall Milton, man, I think of Kendall Milton. I think of that run against Ohio State, Clark.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That long run. I mean, kind of battling injuries again, man. Came back and really, I thought that game played well.
He had a great game this past year against Ole Miss. Kind of a breakout game.
That's true
for him.
Yeah.
And I think he ran pretty well at Tennessee too. Tyke Smith, DGD.
I think that he had a game against Vanderbilt this past year.
Oh, yeah, he did.
He did.
No, he actually did.
He did have a good game.
Yeah. I thought you were just kind of making something up.
He did. He actually did, man.
Oh,
and I remember, So that's right. That's right.
Well,
Dejon Edwards, I remember his inaugural debut the COVID year against South Carolina.
All right.
They killed him in Columbia.
Yeah.
Ran hard. I thought,
man,
this boy's running hard. And then he ran hard ever since, every time he got the rock.
Sure did. Zion Logue.
He was out there.
He was out there, man.
He was causing havoc.
He stuffed some gaps.
He put his hand in the dirt and really gave it his all for the University of Georgia. Forever, we're thankful for that.
I mean, really, though.
But
I can't think. Oh, my gosh.
Marcus Roseby Jack say it's just a bad memory for him, bless his heart.
Oh, the Florida
I think of
game.
his freshman year, breaking his ankle, going up 14-0 in the COVID year.
He had a heck of a catch when he broke his ankle or whatever.
Yeah, it was a touchdown. Go up 14-0. And then that day didn't go well after that. But no,
that year sucked.
He had a good game against Kentucky this past year.
Yeah.
Hit him, lit him, scorched him. So
I feel awful because, I mean, anybody and everybody can name something about Brock. But then when you start going down the list, it's like, oh, man, you kind of forget.
Got to go back.
Plays. Had we prepared for this, I think that section would have gone a lot better.
We just kind of went off the rip and let.
Oh, man.
Oh, I love it, man. That just makes me feel good. That makes me feel good to talk about old memories like that. Man, we've had some good ones over the past couple of years. Got another good one coming up.
We sure do. Well, Adam.
Woo, man.
It's past my bedtime. I think it's past yours.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, I mean, it is. But so, I'm jacked up, ready to go, though. I'm excited. It's been a great episode.
Yeah.
Good to be back on the mic. So.
Still watching the Dogs. I mean, this game's still not over.
Still in OT. Still in extra innings. So we'll see what happens. You, the listener, will know if Georgia won this baseball game over Clemson or not. But either way, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Clark, coming up, man. It'll be here before we know it. So, now we've put a bow on the spring, Clark. So that's just one step closer to the fall. Next episode will be some general chatter, Clark. You're going away for a little bit.
Yeah, going to the island The islands, rather.
Okay.
Hawaii.
All right, going back to Hawaii.
Yep.
We're afraid you're going to move there. You're going to have to do Row 60 remotely. Which
Virtually.
I will fly on a plane to Hawaii. The only time I'll go to Hawaii is to get your tail out of there and bring you back to Georgia, if that were the case.
Oh, man.
So you're going to go take some pictures, do that. That's awesome. I know everybody's got some vacations lined up going into the summer, man. A lot of people enjoy this time of year. It is, a good time of year. Enjoy it with family and friends. But next episode, Clark, getting around to that we will be broadcasting, man. We'll kind of let's work on kind of giving a little bit of a template, so to speak.
Okay.
Kind of what we're going to do during the summer months. Kind of maybe we'll have another roundtable episode where we had have some guys on like we did last year, and some topics maybe that we can discuss going into the summer, because you're not going to have a lot of news going into the summer, going into dead periods, man. And then we'll ramp up that Clemson hate, and for an exciting, historic year of a lot of new things happening, new SEC, new 12-team playoff, opening up with Clemson, going to Texas, going to Ole Miss, going to Alabama without Nick Saban and Tuscaloosa. A lot of things to cover over the summer, and we'll be pumping it out, man. I'm excited about it. God bless everybody. Hey, go to PeachStatePride.com and get you some summer attire, man. Get ramped up for the beach trip to represent the state of Georgia. And as always, God bless. Go Dogs, baby.
Go Dogs.
Hoo, 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 hoo.